This is Sizzle powered by Fit to be Trained. Coming to you from the Deep End Broadcasting Network studios in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States of America. You can find this program on deependbroadcasting.com and subscribe to this network's YouTube channel, Deep End 757 Broadcasting. I am Karen Dougherty, aka Sizzle, and you can also find my website, Fit to be Trained Online, fittobetrained.com, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff is the same. I'm pretty easy to find. It's Fit to be Trained. I'm fit to be tied today. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I know, I can't believe it. It is a happy New Year.
Let me ask you this, Sizzle. In the year 2000, where did you think you would be in the year 2025? Did you think there'd be like flying garbage trucks and stuff like that going on?
Well, remember, it was 1999 and everybody thought Y2K was going to happen. Remember that?
Yep.
So we all thought our computers were going to shut down, our phones. We were even buying water.
Yeah.
I was not a mother yet, so I was out there in the world by myself, early 30s, doing good, living large, fitness girl. Back then, I owned a business called Homebody Fitness. I lived in Minnesota. And I catered to the people that didn't like going to the gym, that were like, it's cold out. It was Minnesota. But also the gym can be intimidating, to a lot of people. So it was kind of before the time it was cutting edge where people were going out to people's homes to work out. So I started doing that. But yeah, that was the year 1999, 2000. Here we are, 2025. I'm almost 60 years old.
Wow. Do you remember the Prince song? When a party like it's 1999.
Oh, goodness.
And that was like years before that. That came out in the early mid 80s. Right?
Yeah, and he didn't even know that it was going to be a big deal, like the Y2K thing. He just wanted to party it was 1999. Because you know what? That's what our generation was really about. We loved partying. I loved us for that. And we would party and work hard, and I don't know, it was a good time. But everybody was so happy on the year 2000, how none of our computers crashed. Everything was cool. We all woke up. I remember having a small party that night, and nothing happened at midnight. It was we were all still went on as normal. But
yeah, I remember the next day, everyone I guess that was all for nothing.
Yeah, it was. And so 2025, do you have any New Year's resolutions? I don't really have.
Honestly, I can't believe Christmas already passed. I didn't even feel like it was Christmas at all. I mean, I feel like it was just Halloween.
I know.
And then I feel like we just had Thanksgiving, and Christmas came and flew by.
It really did.
Without even, it's amazing how time has flown by. And these days in the middle of the week, too, these holidays in the middle of the week really make it crazy.
I agree with you.
It's like we've just had 4 weekends in a row. New Year's resolutions, I should have plenty of them for self-improvement for myself. But no, I have none at the moment.
I don't have any either.
Okay.
I don't either. I have to admit,
survive one more year would be my resolution.
Right. I have to admit, I had my clients buckle down right at Halloween.
Yeah.
Because I said I wanted us to be on par. So kind of New Year's resolutions were happening then. I was putting
that's the smart way to do it.
Yeah, because I didn't want us all having to be, starting in January 1st. Not that there's anything wrong with, doing it, but we buckled down and kind of didn't, started eating right, exercising. I started a weight training program at launch, which look into that, people. If you're listening to this, fittobetrained.com. We do, or fittobetrainedonline.com. We do virtual live classes, and they're so cool. I'm getting such a good attendance at every day at 12:15 weekdays, we do a weight training. And I did that on purpose because I wanted people to start getting into a program from Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and now here we are at New Year's. So they'd be ahead of the game. A lot of us are just breaking even. I'm actually doing good. I've lost some body fat, gained some muscle. That's why I wanted to do it, because I wanted to get a jump on. Because I guess I could say my New Year's resolution is I want to really get in good shape this year. I kind of not let things go last year. I always am in decent shape, but I want to really buckle down in 2025 because I'm 58. I'll be 59. And I kind of just want to see if, how hard it is to build muscle for a female I'm not taking any hormones. I'm just going to be eating, supplement protein. Creatine makes me sleepy. So if I remember to do it at nighttime, I use that supplement. But yeah, so I'm really trying to see how hard it is for us to build muscle, because a lot of women will talk about building muscle, but they're on hormones, and that kind of skews things for a lot of us. But I didn't mean to get onto that subject. I agree with you with Christmas and New Year's being on a Wednesday. So many of us had to work, so it didn't really feel like a holiday. So, that's why I feel like it snuck up on us so much. So next year it'll be on a Thursday and we'll have the long weekend. It'll be normal again. But I got some books under the tree. One is Bodybuilder's Meal Prep Cookbook by Aaron Stern. And this book really has fascinated me. It's called What to Eat and When, by Michael F. Roizen, MD, and Michael Krupane, MD. And I because everything in this industry sometimes is opinion, right? There's some scientific stuff, obviously, with nutrition, but I love reading people's opinions, and it doesn't matter if I agree or not. It's fun to hear different opinions in anything in life. But this was the Where and When way, and it had 10 commandments of the when way. And I thought, this is cool for me and you, because you and I don't have a hard time chatting it up. And I thought, the first commandment is eat when the sun is out. So in other words, if it's wintertime, you can only eat from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And if you're in I know that's kind of difficult if you think about it. And if you're in fitness, you got to do 5 meals. You're trying to, get your protein in. So I have snacks.
Yeah, get your metabolism.
So yeah, to keep things firing. I thought, okay, that coincides with that fasting. People are into that fasting. So I just thought that was an interesting one. But I like you. I like how you went, because I'm the same way. I'm like, like I said, it's an opinion. Like, it's okay if we don't agree. I just thought, okay, it's interesting, because that's hard to do for me. But okay, obviously more food earlier, less later. That's everybody kind of knows that. I thought this one was good. Stop stereotyping foods. So like breakfast foods, lunch foods, that kind of stuff. I thought this was good because I am a fitness person and I get up very early in the morning, like sometimes like 3:30. So sometimes I'm eating chicken at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I think that's what this is trying to get across. Salads and salmon make for a great breakfast, so don't feel like you have to have cereal in the morning. You can have cereal for dinner. I liked that. Stop stereotyping foods.
I always thought a great way, especially if you're like me and you just do not like leftovers.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. I know a lot of people.
But you're trying to, and I get it. Basically, essentially, all meal prep is advanced leftovers.
I know.
In a way. So if you make your chicken and eat your nice chicken dinner and you have leftover chicken, the best thing to do is just throw it in some eggs the next morning. If you don't want it to sit in there too long and it freaks you out. That's just me.
I do
for
that.
no reason whatsoever. I just kind of freak out when things have been sitting in there for 2 or 3 days. It doesn't taste the same. It starts to get a little slimy, and you're just like, ugh.
I don't like doing it either. And
some people can do that all day and find it to be no big deal. I have a real hard time with leftovers. So
I'm with you.
Buy the portions that will knock out 2 meals. So you don't have to stretch it through 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That way you're not in the store every day. And then, throw your grilled chicken in your eggs. That's a great way to get
exactly. That's what I liked about stereotyping. Like, you normally wouldn't put chicken in eggs, but you can. Like, who said you can eat fried chicken and waffles? Right? That's a popular Southern meal. Okay. So then the next one was balance your nutrients, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. You can eat well in any situation. And I want to talk about this because I get stuck in these really high stress situations sometimes. And eating is hard for me when I'm worried, sad, anything. But like, I'm on this regimen we were just talking about with weight training. So I have to get my protein in. And that's when protein drinks really help. I'm not saying that protein drinks are better than food, because they definitely aren't. But if you can't, they definitely aren't. I repeat that. But if because you really want to get your protein from whole foods, but you don't want to just not do anything. Like, I've been really drinking the hell out of protein drinks, and now I'm getting my appetite back and I'm okay, but like, when you go through a stressful time, you got to make sure that you still got your water, you still got your sleep, you still got your nutrients, even if you have to get it through. You can't just go, oh, well, I'm not going to eat. You just can't do that. You got to figure it out. Mistakes shouldn't derail you. So don't worry if you eat a big dinner or stop eating the whatever this is for a day or two. Just pick things back up tomorrow. I didn't read this until just this very second. I'm a big person on this kind of stuff because I'm in recovery for drugs and alcohol, and I don't like it when people like, oh, I screwed up my diet, so now I can't, I feel so guilty. I'm just going to say F it,
Mm-hmm.
And because that always made me sad if addicts did that, they would, fall off the wagon and then they'd have a hard time getting back because of guilt or whatever. And one of my favorite things to say is, all that good time is time, and just hop back on. Don't do that. Don't waste time in the negativity. So, I mean, I definitely say that in my sober coaching stuff, but I want to say that in dieting too, like, oh my God, so what if you have a fail? You just got to get back on the horse and ride. I mean, that's part of life, isn't it?
Yep.
You just don't want to get derailed and depressed and all down on ourselves. Like, I don't see any usefulness in any of that for anything, whether it be dieting, whether you're trying to stay sober, whatever, like, oh my goodness, you got to cut ourselves breaks. Stay hydrated. We already know about all that. Make a plan. Love what you eat. So experiment with spices, flavors, new ways of preparing healthy foods, which is why I got this Bodybuilder's Meal Prep Cookbook, because I'll be honest, I hate meal prepping. I'm one of those girls who's been in the industry forever, and I still have to be coached on it. I have to go to coaches all the time for stuff. And this is one of them, like being told what to do. And I, like you, I'm not a big fan of I'll do leftovers. I don't mind leftovers, and I'll do exactly like you said. Like I've made turkey. You take ground turkey and put the taco flavoring, the low sodium packet. I do that all the time, and I use that, and that's a great source of protein. And I, like you said, I'll eat it for dinner. I use Greek yogurt as sour cream. Like, I think a lot of people don't realize that Greek yogurt plain, not any flavoring, really tastes a lot like sour cream. You can use it as a filler for a lot of stuff. It's got tons of protein in it. And then I have an avocado, so I kind of like make it like a Mexi night, right? And then the next morning I have it in my eggs, like you said, because it's good. Any kind of taco flavoring in eggs is actually pretty good. You think of Huervo's Rancheros. That's always good. And I like breakfast. I like eggs, and I'll eat breakfast at nighttime all the time, which goes back to that. Like
breakfast for dinner is awesome.
Yeah. Don't stereotype your meals. But I got this book. I bought it for my son because I wanted, to try and see if I could motivate myself more, that he's trying to build muscle too, that I would, really try harder to cook better meals. Cause I find that a lot of times I just eat to, get the protein in, and eat my vegetables because it's healthy to get the protein out, the fruit, like you become a machine. And I enjoy eating, but it's not always about taste, when you're really eating to build muscles and stay fit. And when it's really, I don't mean to make it sound so boring and unglamorous, because, well, think about it. They always say, you have a cheat day. How do you feel about the cheat day?
It's necessary. My problem is I want to cheat every day.
Well, I mean, hey.
And once you get onto the bad path, man, it's hard to get off. I mean, I'm kind of going through some of that now, to be honest. I'm trying to tighten up, but then it's like, all right, we'll start tomorrow. And I'm kind of stuck in that stupid mentality, which I know that's not the way to do it. Just start today. That's the way that you do things. But I'm hoping as soon as we navigate through these stupid holidays and just get back to normal life, then I can severely buckle down.
Well, that's why January 1st is such a good, it's always so good for that, for our industry, the fitness and my industry for sure. Like I'm actually a personal trainer, so I'm going to be busier for a while, and lucky for me, I stay pretty busy. I'm happy to report that, but like gyms are really full because, people get motivated and then it thins out after a couple months. Right. But fitness trainers, I usually get a couple new clients. And I got 2 this year, but like we're a little different because we're booked by the hour, through the day, weekly. It's a little different. We don't have as many openings, and I'm not saying I don't have any openings now. I don't want to push anybody away. In fact, I probably have openings for maybe one client. I'd like to take on another one. I got 2 new ones. I wouldn't mind having another one. Mm-hmm. If anybody out there in Radio Land is interested in live fitness training, always know too that I do online stuff. I'm really interested. I love this online. I love that we're doing this podcasting. I like anything that has to do with this new 2025. Like, I like how you asked me that. So in the year 2000, were you thinking, no, I did not think I'd be talking into a microphone on YouTube. Did we have YouTube in 2000?
Did we? I want to say maybe not. It was close. It was close at that time.
We were flip phoning, I think.
It wasn't the YouTube. If it was YouTube, it wasn't like it is now.
Yeah, like we didn't have all the apps. Hey, that goes into a different subject. Like when I was a young girl, I always wanted to do a bodybuilding competition. I followed them. I'd even go to Vegas, and I'd go to the competitions. I had a girlfriend that did really, really well, Sheridan. She's actually in my lunchtime weight training class with me right now, but she did really well back in the day, like, oh my God. But anyway, I couldn't do it because all the dieting, the meal prepping, the food was a lot harder. We didn't have all the supplements. We didn't have the apps to track all our macros and food. So I did a bodybuilding show when I was 54, which was 4 years ago, because I was like, man, okay, I'm old now, and we've got all these apps. So I could actually do the task. Because think about those athletes back then. It was a lot harder. They were carrying around notebooks. They had everything pre-packed in Tupperware in a cooler. It was a lot harder to be a bodybuilder. I don't want to get in trouble, because not that it's not hard now. It is, but it was really hard, doing the old notebook, and it looked miserable. I was like, man, I just can't do it. I'll just follow them and cheer them along. And then now, and I'm more into group fitness too. So I just enjoyed the sport, but I liked doing that show in my 50s, and I could do it because of all the technology that we did not have in the year 2000 that we do now, which makes something like that doable for a girl like me. And you can get coaches online. You can do your posing online now. It's really cool, the stuff that, like, I can be a fitness trainer online. And I always wanted to do that. I think we touched on that on our first session. I had wanted to do that before COVID.
Right. Yeah.
You was even around. And so I'm doing it now. Like it's happening, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and I'm, there's a learning curve to it. But I really love it. I mean, my live training, obviously I love that too, but
well, we're in a day and age too where I think that even for me, like, I don't like human interaction, and I get it. It's bad. That's not the right thing to say. People need to be out with other people.
Right.
You need to be social. But man, I think I don't know if it's been through so much through life, or just dealing with so many assholes at certain points that you're just done with everybody. And so virtually, but it's just not me. I think that's the mentality of a lot of people. Thus, the virtual world of fitness really is kind of opening up into a nice big arena that you're a part of, Sizz. And I think what you're doing is kind of taking advantage of that, where, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't think it is. I really do think a lot of people out there just don't want to have human interaction with other people anymore.
I'm telling you, one of my most successful businesses was Home Body Fitness, and it was in Minneapolis. And it was during, the year 2000. And yeah, like even back then, though, obviously before all this online stuff, but that's who I catered to. The people that didn't want to go.
Yeah.
There was plenty of people back then that were like, no, I'm good. I don't want to deal with people. I don't want to drive to the gym. And plus, remember, I'm in Minnesota, so it's the weather is a little harsher than it is here in Virginia Beach. It's so, mild here and lovely. People can drive all year round, and not that they can't there, but you know what I mean. People didn't want to leave the house. So I really took advantage of that, but I definitely catered to the introverts, and I still do. Not that you're an introvert, because you're a very social person, right. But I'm a very social person too, but I definitely definitely am an introvert too. Like they have this, don't they call them introvert, extrovert? They have a name for everything nowadays. Oh my gosh. But yeah, like I can't wait till tomorrow. Like I get to just stay in. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to work. Yeah. I definitely will have a great day of introvert. The gym's not open. And I think too with my job too, like always being in public and stuff and always, any kind of service job. I forget who I was talking to the other day because they were talking about burnout.
Uh-huh.
Because when you're interacting with people, there is a certain amount of burnout too. So maybe you're just burned out on all your socializing and you're like, because think about it, like you always have been an extrovert for sure, always out and about and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, like as we
yeah, I would talk to people randomly. And I mean, I've gained many friends over the years just from the random conversations of random questions. And
I know it's
you'd
fun.
actually be amazed at the things you can learn when you ask people random questions.
I know. Yeah.
So there is that aspect of humanity to it that I do miss. Maybe that'll be one of my resolutions is to get myself out there just a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. I think my resolution is, the fitness stuff. I'm trying, the online business was more of a hobby. And now, I'm trying to take it off the ground even more and specialize more and, helping others that are like struggling with sobriety too. That's a little niche that I do on the side because of who I am. Mm-hmm. Fitness has saved my sanity. I think my whole life. So there's that. But yeah, I look forward to 2025 to just kind of and I kind of agree, like you said, like it snuck up on me. I can't believe it's here already. So I haven't really had time to contemplate on what I do expect from myself this year.
I think a good approach. Here's the approach I'm going to take. And really trying to get myself on a good ship and a good path is one, I'm not going to pressure myself. Yeah, I'm not going to try to put X amount of pressure on me. Basically, the gist of it is this: number one, just show up, get some work done, and know that that's good enough. And you might not feel it for a week, you might not feel it for 2 weeks, but by that third and fourth week, you'll start to feel it. You'll start to notice it. Especially if you have your diet cleaned up. And if you just kind of keep going and just kind of keep showing up without, I need to do this. I need to do, I need to make sure I'm squatting 3 times a week. I need to do the, bench press 8 times a week or whatever you're trying to do. Make sure I'm running, 3 miles a day on top of weights and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So don't pressure yourself like that. Show up, get some work done. Just be patient. And I think that's the key word is just patience. And you know what? Next thing you know, January and February will go by pretty fast. You'll be in March and April. And you're going to feel so much better about yourself than you were right now at this time of the day. And you don't have to worry about summer creeping up on you. And, it's getting too hot out to work out now and all that. You're going to be
right. You'll be in your habit by then.
You'll be in your groove, and then you'll be able to adapt through the spring and the summertime and kind of keep things rolling. And then, you know what? If you do get off track at some point, and you said it earlier, with your clients, kind of buckling down around Halloween.
Yeah.
That's the advantage of that. Because and I've done that before in self-improvement regiments where I started before New Year's. Like, no, I don't want to start at New Year's. Let me start 4 or 5 weeks ahead of time And then that way, by the time New Year's comes, I'm ahead of the curve with everybody and everything else.
I just felt like I could see the train coming. Like too many gals were like unhappy with themselves. And then, so I was kind of helping them with their food then. And I don't mean unhappy with themselves, just wanted to drop if they were just kind of like oopsie daisy. And I was one of them. The summer, like I always gain weight in the summer. People like tend to slim down. Not me. I like chips and all that kind of stuff. That's summer food. So I think that's what was happening. I could see the train coming. A lot of us were like, oopsie, it's September, October. And I thought, oh my God, we're just going to go over the cliff if we don't pull it in right now. And so I just kind of snuck it in a little bit before October, and then it worked out for me. I think I'll do that every year. I'll do that from now on. I'll pull them all in because now they're feeling good about themselves. They're on a kind of a regimen. Have they had cheat days? Yes. And that's okay. Like I'm like you. I really don't see the benefit of beating yourself up anymore. Like that was kind of things in the past. The guilt and all that guilt and shame. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're maturing too. We're kind of like, that's a big trick. Right. All that guilt and shame is just ridiculous. But it does make you feel better, and call a trainer too. Like I'm a fitness trainer, and there have been times that I've had to call on others for help. Plenty of times through my career where and heck, I go to CrossFit. I'm not a CrossFit trainer. That is what I go in there and I get to be dumb. I don't know anything. I do what I'm told. And I know a lot about CrossFit because I've been in there for, gosh, I've been sober 13 years. So 14 years. I started CrossFit right before I got sober. Can you believe that? I was partying and doing that stuff. Wow. But
oh yeah. I mean, I was too when I started, for sure.
I know. Yeah. That's a badass right there.
I mean, I was still smoking cigarettes at that time.
Yeah. Like party.
I quit pretty fast.
I went through, but we were just so much younger. You could just cracks me up. Like I remember in the 80s, this is a whole different subject, but I remember the 80s coming out of the gym and lighting a cigarette up.
Yeah.
And that was a question we'd ask like professionals, like, why do you want a cigarette so bad when you come out of the gym? And it was because your endorphins are up. So that's why they say, you can drink too much if you go to the bar, right? Like if you meet friends right after the gym, be careful, drink lots of water first because your endorphins are up and you'll slip and you'll, because you're excited and happy. Everybody knows how great you feel when you come out of the gym. So I always thought that was such good advice. Like be careful because that's why a lot of people who smoke crave whenever your endorphins go up. That's normal. And now nobody even smokes cigarettes anymore. It's kind of funny how
I don't even know they exist. That's crazy.
I don't either.
I literally, the world that I live in does not even recognize cigarettes. Even when I'm in the 7-Eleven, I don't even see the cigarettes behind the guy at the counter. I like it in a big giant rack.
Very rarely see. Yeah, I forget they even exist. Thank God, because back in the day, I was a Newport queen.
Well, for all you smokers out there too, I'll tell you what. CrossFit is a great way to quit smoking because once you're coughing in your lungs and you're out of breath the whole time, the last thing you kind of almost want is you're like, man, my lungs are doing so good doing this. The cigarettes are almost kind of, bringing them down now, and it's kind of gross when you think about it, and you'll hawk up all kinds of grossness and you start thinking, man, my lungs can be pink instead of black if I can just stop smoking cigarettes and keep this out of breath CrossFit type of workout.
Yeah, I guess it is New Year's. Like, so people that do smoke cigarettes would be thinking about giving it up. Yeah. Even walking, I would like to think like CrossFit might be a little hard to start if, even walking, I bet helps. Any kind of
walking helps, and then
endurance is going to make
this
you.
Too. This is a good one too, especially if you're capable of running. But walk first if you got knee pain or whatever, like me, if you're dealing with knee issues or whatever. But if you run or can run, first you can GPS out your neighborhood on an app. So you can download an app, you can GPS the coordinates, you can get the exact meters, obviously 1,600 meters, or not so obvious to maybe some of you. 1,600 meters is a mile.
Right.
So that's what you're looking for. And if you can map that out on your coordinates in your neighborhood, try to start at 1 mile. If you can do it nonstop, great. If you have to stop a couple of times, okay, that's fine. Then build up. Try to get to that mile without stopping. That'd be goal number 1. Once you do that mile unbroken and you don't have to stop, add a quarter mile to it. Just a real simple quarter mile. You're not asking the universe. You're just adding 400 more meters. So when you do that mile and a quarter, you do that 3-4 times and then add a little bit more.
I'm always so impressed how much you are pro running.
And you're making a mile and a half. And then next thing you know, if you slowly build, you'll find yourself running comfortably at like 3.5 miles or so. And even up to 5 miles, you're a professional kind of runner at that point. And but that's a good way to do it. Just accomplish that goal and then add just a little bit to it. And when you're running, try to burn out. Try to, like, the last little bit of it, amp it up, try to sprint it out. That's where you're getting your dues paid. That's how you'll make it pay off.
I do agree with that. Like, okay, but people, I will say this. You don't have to run it. Steve's a runner. Like, no, you can walk it too. But I do like how he said, like, really try to push that very end. Like, even speed walking is really good for you. Like, really go as fast as you can. And if you can run, like he said, sprinting that's the new thing. That's real trendy right now. Did you know that? Where they're like really pushing sprinting.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see why. It would be really, really beneficial. In fact, I wouldn't mind, because I don't like running. I could do a sprint way better than running long distance. Right. I really can. Like, a mile to me is like, I'm good. I've always been like that. I'm like, I'm good. Or I joke with marathoners, just say no.
Like, so 50-meter sprints. So
you could get my attention.
Get a 50-meter. Just imagine yourself on a football field.
Yeah.
And what's half a football field? So if you don't have it to the exact science, or you don't want to measure it on the app, that's fine. Just figure it's 3 or 4 driveways down from your house or something like that.
Yeah.
You sprint to that, you stop, you wait 30, 45 seconds or even a minute, and then do that sprint again. And if you just can repeat that like 10 times, man, that's a great workout.
I know, it really is. And I know that it is for so many reasons, for my education too. Like, I won't even get into it, but fast and slow twitch muscles, endorphins, oh my God, it's muscle building. Like, me with trying to build muscle, I really am like, wow, I should add sprints in, especially for my legs. It's so good. But I don't want to end out with what to eat when you're bummed, but this book is so cool because it has everything, like what to eat when you're on a first date. It tells you like what not to eat because you don't want food in your teeth. It's really cute. Like, it's a super cute book. What to eat when you're in pain. And I'll tell you, it was the pain chapter I read. I didn't get to read a lot of this book yet. I kind of can't wait. I might get to do it tomorrow. But
I've asked dates if I have food in my teeth.
Yeah, I have too.
But you know what? I think that's a good confidence kind of actual maneuver, or if you're willing to say that to someone.
Yeah, like, and it shows if you're going to be able to trust her.
Yeah.
Is she going to tell you the truth?
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun. This book has some fun stuff. But the pain thing, that's what I'll end it with. Spicy food for when you're in pain, because it takes away inflammation.
Oh,
ginger is not spicy, but is another one that's if you're experiencing pain, or like unfortunately some people deal with chronic, that would be horrible, but that's a whole different subject. But stuff like that, like spicy food, ginger, that sounds. But I mean, if you're just dealing with, sore knees and stuff, that stuff works for a short term. And carbs, obviously, like meal before a meeting. I just thought it was really cute how they broke things down. You want to make sure you eat about 90 minutes before an interview, if possible. That way the food is digested and you won't be dealing with bloating or stomach issues. And also you're on the peak brain power. Because I made sure I ate this morning. I didn't want to be in here like dumb because I've been going since 4 this morning. So I was like, oh my gosh, I got to make sure I eat before I go down and do the podcast. So I did a shake. I've already done a shake. I've already done a protein bar. And then I'll go eat really quick before my 12:15. I'll eat 3 eggs and probably 3 turkey sausage.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I know. That'll be like a normal meal. And that's what? Breakfast for lunch. But I wouldn't be opposed to eating a steak right now. I just don't have it. But I wanted to go ahead and end out. Happy New Year. It's going to be a great 2025. It's going to be great. So tune in next week and we'll continue on talking about all things fitness and working out. And hopefully this year, I'd like to start getting some guests in here to talk with us. That way we could really pinpoint focus. Don't be afraid to give us suggestions of subjects that you want. We were just trying to get a few under our belt, the 2 of us. And, before I started asking people to come on, and then we'll specialize, which is easy. We got a lot of friends in the CrossFit world. We've got friends that are in the nutrition world. We've got friends, me and Steve. So
I actually have a text hotline. We can give out that number next show. Then people can start asking questions we can answer. For the following show and stuff like that.
Yeah. And if there's subjects that you want to hear about, I know so many people in this town, in this industry, for everything. Maybe we can get them on as guests. No problem. Just got to be nice to them.
I'm sure they'd be happy to do it.
I know, right? I think we'd have, I can think of 3 people off the bat right now that I'm going to ask. And one is a nutrition, and one's CrossFit, and one's regular fitness and yoga. I know yoga girls. Oh my goodness. I'm a Tai Chi girl. I know a whole bunch of people, but okie dokie. I will let you guys get on with your New Year's. So thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Steve, for always joining me. I'm so grateful to you.
Oh, thank you, Susan. Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year
to
everybody out there.